So innovation and the tech revolution, it's clear that sport for many years has been kind of in a very nice bubble. We did a very nice life inside of sport, but more and more we realized that we are immersed in society as a sport business, and society is changing in many ways. And the technology revolution that is changing society and the way people consume content, behave, think about things. We were just in this Gen Z conversation before we started, no? We are starting to realize that sport is immersed in society for many reasons, but it's also immersed in the technology revolution in two ways. First, you have to adapt, you have to create your own space in a world that is changing because of technology is changing. But also, technology gives you an opportunity to innovate inside sport in many ways, in the different angles of sport. So, one first question that I want to ask everybody, and maybe as we do it, just introduce yourself a bit longer than what Paola did and shorter than the full panel time. It's why should we innovate sport? Most of the last years we have made amazing money in so simple ways, but there seems to be a constant discussion about innovation in sport. If you can, I want to know why in your view, and also qualify the why, because I think with purpose innovation becomes more relevant and the results are better. If we just innovate because there is a new technology that's right, maybe the result is not as. So let's start from the bottom with Alfonso.
Sure. So,
who are you, Alfonso? Tell me.
Okay, so I'm Alfonso. I'm kind of a weird combination of different industries and backgrounds. And
sorry,
I think
weird is a good combination here. So.
I'm in the right place, right? We're all weird here.
We're all about weirdos.
Exactly.
Yes.
So we're the weirdest club.
It's
here.
a good stuff.
It's a good stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
So I start from technology, so that my participation in technology industry give me this perspective of how to scale and how to bring different customer services and experiences to your, in this case, fans. Then I start working with entertainment industry, and that gave me the perspective of every consumer, every user, every person entertain, but entertain in a different way. I used to work on the cinema industry, so probably you like horror movies or chick flicks, but those are two different ways to entertain yourself. And then I get into the sports industry, and this is where I get to why should we innovate. Just in the previous conversation, I was just listening to brands on Spotify and Twitch. They need to come as they are. They need to be real. And that all made sense. Well, we need to be real. We need to come clear to who we are. How do we add value to this community? And in order to add value, and I kind of full circle here to something that you said in a previous conversation, that we need to be clear who our fans are. And I understand that not only who they are, but how do they entertain themselves. For example, for us in the Mexican national team, and we know our objective is to inspire people, inspire Mexicans. Well, there are so many ways to inspire Mexicans. There are so many kind of Mexicans because we have Mexicans in Mexico and Mexicans elsewhere. And the triggers for entertainment are completely different. So just understanding who they are, it's a matter of data, of research, of technology, and all that together is innovation for me.
Okay, thank you, Alfonso. Lucas.
That was a good answer, I think. Hi,
you
everybody.
cannot say you agree. I don't like my panels. Nobody says they agree because otherwise.
I agree to an extent. So I'm Lucas. I'm head of digital innovation at the DFL. What does that mean? Basically, so together with our technology partners such as AWS, we look across our entire media value chain, which is from glass to glass. So from the production of the camera lens in the stadium up until the device of the user, of the customer. And we look in how can we apply technology across that media value chain. I have a background in sports marketing and tech. And well, what's innovation? I think there's an obvious answer for us, and then there's probably a little bit of a deeper one. And the obvious one is, well, we do innovate. We innovate because we want to create value, because we want to, add something to that media value chain. But I think the question that's a little bit harder to answer is, how do we create value for the target groups that are most relevant for us? And these target groups are, for us, it's as a league, from a league perspective, it's fans first, of course, but there's also clubs and partners, media partners, commercial partners. And so when we innovate, we always try to, and that's kind of a phrase that everybody uses nowadays, we actually try to go from the customer first and to create value for them. But we have also established mechanisms internally that need to answer that question first before we kind of find innovation funds for that, before we apply resources for that. And it has really helped us throughout the last couple of years. And some of these innovations are really shiny, and the ones that we put on also marketing slides. But there are also some that are just backbone and groundwork that also needs to be done, and that's also innovation for us.
See, one thing that you said that relates a lot with what I'm doing lately is this kind of not very sexy term, stakeholder analysis. So someone has a great idea, immediately goes to a stakeholder group like the fans. Say, our sponsor will love it and everybody will be on board. I normally try to say, okay, do an analysis that you show me the value for each of the stakeholder, because in the end, only in that case you get buy-in from everybody and you can execute properly. Paula?
So I'm CEO and co-founder of Buzz My Videos, and what I've seen, what we do is all things YouTube. So that's the only platform it wasn't in the, no, there was, anyway, Meta was missing as well. So I was at Google YouTube before, then founded Buzz My Videos. What's innovation? I've seen when Google bought YouTube and the whole industry saying that Google was going bust because they overpaid 1.6 billion, a company that was basically all lawsuits, just troubles basically, and just for kiddos. And I remember all the headlines, and I was actually at the night before we had the party at Google when they announced before the press. We were we were static, jumping all around, because we knew it was the disruption was there. It was going to take. We always thought it was going to take less time than it really did, because innovation for innovators is going to take no time. In real life, it's going to take forever to be adopted. But the reality is that was what the next 15 or 20 years were to change the whole entertainment industry, which happened. It took a while, but it did happen. Different industry in different eras, I have to say. Music first. Music was dying by technology. And then what is innovation there in music, and then it's why it could be for sport, is about, as they said, putting the user first, which is absolutely what I learned at Google, user first, it always needs to win. But then it's about thinking about new business model. Innovation is actually servicing that user in a way that is a win-win situation. It's a business. So you offer value, you build value. And that's value that at the end of the day, through disruption, it's revenue, it's new opportunities. And now with new platforms and new technology that is serving that purpose. It's not technology for the sake of technology. It's cool. For geeks, it's like the playground. We can talk technology all day long. But the reality is that even YouTube, which has been there for more than 15 years, in some cases, in some industries, still what can I do with it? Yeah, I'm using it, but not much. So how does that serve the value creation? Still, there's a lot to be done by very simple things, and that's where innovation stands in terms of real terms for me.
Okay. Candy, I know you have a good answer for me.
Yeah, maybe, let's see. So I will start saying who I am, what I do. So I'm the CEO of Madalia World, and Madalia, it's a digital platform built upon XR, that it's augmented reality, virtual reality, blockchain, and artificial intelligence. So we could say that it's a metaverse platform. It was built to compound big digital twins. We've done the first digital twin of an island. We have 750 kilometers squared of digital twin. And it's based on major three pillars. So we have the entertainment side, of course, with immersive experiences, novels, series, gaming, everything that you could think about entertainment. And then we have the sustainability side, that it's a big core of Madalia, because we want to transform every digital action into real impact in our world. So it's connecting the worlds, that it's the purpose for us. And then we have the tool sets, that it's where we make business. So we have AR and VR solutions for every industry, and sports industry, it's one of them. So for me, innovation and why the sports business needs to innovate, if we think, and if we take time to think, most of sports that we play today, like football, they were invented 100 years ago. So that could not be the same way today that it was 100 years ago. So if we look at the sports the same way, it will fail, because people has changed, innovation has changed, society has changed, the fans want different things, proximity. So we need to innovate. And innovation, it's finding answers and using the tech that we have available to reach one purpose. So I think that applies to every industry, sports included.
Okay, thank you. So now, to be honest, I think my generation of sport tech and business people, because I started like in 1987, so I'm incredibly old, didn't really succeed. So I don't think, even if user-centric, fan-centric is the North Star, we're talking about it for many years, I don't think we reached that. We are still scratching the surface, and I don't want to be negative with people doing amazing job around in the sport ecosystem, but really, I don't think we achieved that. And on the other end, also innovation in general, there is still a lot of conservative approaches for maybe good reason, short term. So I think, convince me that in your respective field you're doing something that is better than what my generation did, if you want. Alfonso, I know you focus on the fans, something that maybe I kind of realized because I spent some time in your country and in the States and in other places. There is a lot of Mexican or Mexican-loving people around the world, like a lot. And so it changes a bit the way you have to approach the fan-centric concept, right?
Yeah, definitely. So Mexico, you've probably heard about this country. It's like 120 million. But even though we have like between 160 and 180 million fans. So how does the math work here? Well, we have basically all of the Mexicans in Mexico, but as we say in Mexico, we Mexicans, we are born whatever we want. So we have like between 60 and 80 million fans in the US and then in other countries. The fun thing is that you could say we're all Mexicans. Yeah, we do, but we have different ways to approach entertainment, sports, and the national team. How should I convince you? If we keep working on the contracts and the portfolio of benefits that we offer as a sports industry, as a sports organization, the same way, it's like one portfolio fits everything. That's not true. And the way that we measure, the way that we deliver, it's like that's, it has work, but it won't bring us to where we need to go. Where we need to go, we need to add value based, as Paula mentioned, on the needs that each fan has. So what we've done, for example, is just understanding either in Mexico, what's the perspective or the needs from our cluster of fans, or the cluster of fans based on their needs. And then for example, we did some exercises, and I know Chris around here, so she should keep me honest on this. And then we compare, for example, the needs that the Mexican fans have in Mexico and those in the US. what are their needs. And they're like not completely different, but the triggers are different. For example, in Mexico, like the fans in Mexico, it's very success driven. The fans in the US, it's very heritage driven. So the way that you communicate and the way you articulate and the way that you activate the sponsorship, it's very different. So once that you have done the research to understand those triggers and start activating on those, you can not only get closer and come real to your fans, but you can offer different benefits. You can do segmentation on your portfolio. You can approach, as Luca mentioned, a different business model for our stakeholders, but at the end, bring value to the fans.
And you normally, when I talk to people, everybody says, different sports even, they have 1 billion fans. You were quite conservative, so I think it's a true number, 180 million, to be honest.
Yeah, 180. I mean, probably sounds a little small, but 180 million fans.
No, it seems realistic.
It's realistic.
Because then you check when they have 1 billion fans, they have 1 million or 500,000 in the database. So I think in your case, if I understand well, your effort is trying to innovate by understanding exactly how to reach different segments, or if to use a marketing term, of fans. Do you think your organization has the structure to go from strategy to execution, not only to understand, but also then to activate, to build? Do you think you can, because one of the issues I've seen many times, great strategy, but then the execution, because it's long term, because people change, priority change, money is different than before, it gets dispersed in the organization.
Yeah. Well, just as you mentioned, like the whole industry comes from a different place, and we need to change. We're going through a phase of change in the Mexican Federation. I think we're building. I'm confident that we're building the capabilities. Not there yet, but I can see like the trend where we're going, and we're gonna catch up to this opportunity.
Sorry to put everybody in a tough spot. Bundesliga, perceived, I would say, as an innovative league. Okay, someone disagrees?
You wanted the disagreement, so there you got it.
So Luca, tell me, I know that I was born, the company I operated at the beginning operated in what is called in marketing terms, B2B marketing terms, value in kind. So we give you a service and some hardware and we can use, we become a sponsor. It was kind of a exchange, but the value was so there. I think an example of what you're doing with AWS, and you can explain, seems a better exchange. Many years have passed, but I think that's a deeper connection between a brand, what they can provide you, and what you can provide them. You're really innovating with them, from my experience with you.
Well, I think the official answer is yes, but the unofficial answer is also that this took time. And probably if you would have asked us in 2020, when our collaboration with AWS started, we also thought we were quite sophisticated already with what we tried to achieve together. And I think when we then started, we realized, it's maybe a little bit more of a hustle to actually bring that partnership to life. Because in the beginning you kind of explore on what potential projects you could do. And in the beginning it was about checking for feasibility also, because we had cloud experience, we had some machine learning experience, we had our digital teams that were growing, but really understanding what kind of opportunities such a powerhouse as AWS can bring to us, and how we can foster a proper exchange between the two parties, and how we can create value for both partners. That was kind of a challenge. And I think we had some lighthouse projects like the Bundesliga Match Facts, such real-time machine learning analytics, and now we all know it works and it's in our world feed and everybody knows it. I can tell you, when we first started it and we had the first match fact launched, we didn't really know if it would work. This is kind of this is really innovation then, because you don't know the outcome, because if you know the outcome, it's not really innovation sometimes. And these were lighthouse projects, and we did them obviously also to showcase what's possible for both parties. And now we are at a stage, and I think that's what you refer to, where we can go much deeper into our value chain and go, how can we really transform the business, not just to create a story, which is nice and which is also important for us at League, of course, but in the end, it's not to create a story, it's to really create value, really transform the business. It might be the case that it's not as shiny anymore, well, not all of the cases are as shiny, but if you can, for example, automate the event detection in sports tech, and if you can do the event gathering semi-automated and not manually right now, this is a massive change. And if you can add skeleton data to that, that is a lot of opportunities. You're talking about XR, talking about metaverse, that offers so many opportunities further down the line, and that's what we're trying to do actually now. They know us better, we know AWS better, and that's why I think we can now really foster on that relationship.
Yeah, and I don't know if you know what Lucas is referring to, match facts and all this is about grabbing data as sophisticated as skeleton data layers and creating storytelling in real time on the broadcast signal as a minimum and all the digital artifacts after. And you have seen it, I don't know, in swimming. I think it becomes true innovation when someone notices when it's missing. So for example, if you see at the Olympics a swimming competition without the VR graphics that tells you where the record is, you say, ooh, there's something broken. So I think at that moment, when whatever match facts will be more successful with people, they say, ooh, there's something wrong because I don't see that statistics, like when you don't see the clock and time, the clock and score. Maybe that's the moment where, yeah, you succeeded, apart from the business outcome. Paola, Twitch, TikTok, everything, Spotify, YouTube is sold. It was founded in 2005, right?
Rare, basically,
yeah.
Yes.
So why you think you are in an innovation panel if you're just using YouTube for your business? Why are you here?
Because I can have the hair dyed. So YouTube, can I say something controversial?
Otherwise I get bored.
Yeah, it's boring. So, we saw the example before, in the panel before, they were talking about Kings League. Kings League, so if the football industry is looking at it mainly, you might disagree with me, and that's okay. It's something for kiddos, it's not very relevant, it's not real football, it's not how we do, we are the professionals, whatsoever. It's correct, I'm not saying it's not correct. KSI, Logan Paul, these are two big YouTubers, one from the US, one from the UK, just YouTubers, entertainment. They became boxer. Boxing. Tell me if you are watching, the last time you watched boxing, if you are below 30 years of age. I doubt. I don't see there's going to be one, to be honest. They became the biggest selling tickets online of a match of boxing. A whole new generation just watching boxing. Bets on that were zero, chances to succeed is zero. Look at Wrexham. Wrexham is a small city in Wales. I live in London, in the UK, never heard of it, ever. A very deprived area of Wales. A team that was not even a professional. It was I don't know, in Italy, I'm not going to make names because I'm going to make a lot of enemies, but somebody who's very, very, very regional. They are super, super known in the US right now. Their name sponsor is TikTok. They actually made it to the professional league in the last season. Now, what I want to say with that is every single sport industry, football, boxing, everybody's thinking those guys, yeah, but that's not real stuff. We are the serious and the professional one, which is, again, that's right. But they understand that from a business point of view, there is a need of the users that we were talking about. People want to consume more content, more sports. They are very much into it. But the sport as it is now is not giving the right content to these guys. And that's where they actually start from scratch, and Kings League, the Bernabeu was sold out. They started January last year. And I think it was November or December, sold out. The Bernabeu, not really like this room. It's Bernabeu Stadium. So is there opportunity to innovate there? Then yes. And just by doing something, just it needs to reinvent itself in some sports, because there's an opportunity, but it's not incremental, it's exponential. But if it's missing out on that, it's missing out on whatever is the next 20 to 30 years. And why YouTube? And I come to the question, sorry, it was a bit of going around it, but why YouTube? I'll give you an example. YouTube, for example, I talk to a lot of sports club, federation, globally, and they're all like, that's a repository, and yeah, we put the highlights with brilliance. I mean, definitely, it's a very nice pick. But YouTube is a search engine first and foremost, and the nostalgia kind of trend is massive. And if you look at data, there are people watching from anywhere in the world, matches from 20 years ago, or like the goals of whatever player, wherever in the world. And every single club has massive archive that is sitting there, getting the dust, and not getting one penny. It's like highest ROI ever. Just give what people want to consume. People love to see the Batistuta goals. They want to see Totti goals. They want to see Del Piero goals. Like whatever. That's massive incremental opportunity. And I'm talking about a very small detail. I'm not about the exponential. But in thinking about the exponential role that sports can play, just YouTube, by just doing that, thinking, okay, what do I have in-house? Everybody has a massive archive. Just do something with it. Just don't sit on it, because people are still looking for it. And the creators, for example, they're actually getting that, use the content and uploading it because they love it. You guys are not doing it, but they are, because they love it. So there is a lot to be done still on YouTube and the other platforms. I'm not saying there's YouTube only and whatever, like YouTube, TikTok, there's Instagram, think about all the platforms, but the point is the users are there. Just don't forget about them. Just don't be one way only. You're not broadcasters. Broadcasters were like, I'm not really young, but I remember broadcasters just one direction. It's not one direction anymore, it's about building the communities.
Arianna, mi senti? Salve.
They're not niche, and they're niche by name, but the numbers are massive, and they have willingness to watch content, and they have willingness to pay in a way.
Sono il tecnico audio per la riunione.
Innovation is on YouTube.
One small addition, Paola. We talked about it in a panel previously. The NFL, National Football League, possibly the richest, most valuable league in the world, started a program or two programs for creators where they would give content that normally would not be available for creators to repurpose it and create content with at the moment not with the revenue share, but I mean the potential would be to then revenue share with creators. And that's video
they're
content.
They're actually leaving the revenue to the creators.
Yeah, at the moment, yes.
And there is real money there, I can tell you. Sometimes it's 10 times the money that
Hello,
every
Arianna.
club is making. So it's not...
Yeah, and I remember also the AS Roma was doing something some years ago, something similar with, not in this case video creator, but trying to get the more, if you authentic people around.
Now you hear me,
into a group.
Arianna?
Alfonso, you want to do that something?
Yeah,
Okay.
just real quick.
Could you please
very
turn up
amusing
the webcam
sports
so we
industry
could
is
fix
this
the video
urban
and
legend
we
of,
can make a test?
Let me build on controversy here. Fan loyalty, as if you own the fan and it's only your fan and it only consumes your content, your games,
or also the event.
Back to these cases, what we found is that real fans and the real opportunity are in the fans that they just love football. So even if I'm a Roma fan, I would love to see Batistuta's goal, or I would love to see MLS, or I would love to see Liga MX, or I would love to see, because I love football. So it's beyond that fan loyalty that it's on one direction to a multi-direction, because previously we just knew our channel, our communication with the fan. We didn't know that the fan would go elsewhere. So that's built like this urban legend around.
But in an ideal world, we would personalize the content to an extent there that if you like Batistuta goals, but you're a Roma fan, you see all the Batistuta goals, but not the game winners against Roma, because that's not the goals you want to see. So, and we basically do have the data. Sometimes we don't have the kind of data data lakes, and we don't understand the data yet, and we can't really make use of the data yet. But potentially we could, and then it's great, because I agree, they are loyal to an extent, but they're like fans, and I'm a fan myself, of course, and then, you know, I like to watch all the football goals, and across leagues, of course, and if I have that content available, because all the leagues have that massive archive, actually, I would be interested in your recommendations for our archive. But I agree, so loyalty is like twisted, yeah, it's a good word.
If I can add something on that, it's true that if you love Batistuta, you're not going to watch Totti against Batistuta because Totti won that time. But the funny thing is actually the comments. If you fan actually go there and start commenting and counter-commenting, it's like when you're watching like something very Italian, not for football related, but if you watch a video about the carbonara recipe, I don't know if you ever watched one in English. So. So if you're very down, like one day you're in a really bad mood, go and search for a carbonara recipe in English and read the comments. Forget about what is the video, just forget it. So there are all the Americans, British, like everything but the Italians, and everybody's like, of course there is cream in the recipe, and all of us Italians is like, of course there's no cream. Who puts cream in the carbonara? Like you really don't understand anything of cooking. And it goes like, and then it becomes it becomes a story on its own. Just read the comments. You just go there and be entertained. But the same goes with football. Like it's like, yeah, but that goal of Totti wasn't the best one. But Batistuta did the best one in whatever.
So if I don't have pecorino in my home,
so guys,
can I use?
So one, we need to get Candy to speak, but the first question is, can you get carbonara in the metaverse?
With or without cream?
No, seriously now.
Yes, you can, without cream.
A platform like
you have the right audience.
A platform like Madalia or a metaverse. How do you think this can, augment or get the fans a different experience compared to what we normally have today in sport, in football, if you can, as we are at such a football summit here?
Okay, so the metaverse for me, it's an opportunity, but you have to understand how to use it, okay? Because we talk a lot about the metaverse and its dangers and it's not yet and it's blah, 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 blah. But if you look at the metaverse the right way, you will find purpose to sports or any industry. For sports, we have augmented reality and virtual reality. Only these two technologies that exist for as long as I remember, because virtual reality goes back to the beginning of the 20th century, so it's not something from yesterday, it's not a buzzword, it's something that exists for a while. If you think about those two technologies, you have two potential weapons to engage with the fans, to engage with the community. Because with AR, imagine if you're in a football field, but you want to personalize what you're seeing, you can do that through augmented reality. So if you have a field and you want to transform it into the moon or, I don't know, underwater or whatever you want, you can personalize the content to the fan. So this is one way. Through virtual reality, you can feel the connection because you are more immersed. So for the fan, you can use it too. But if you think about e-commerce, because football means a lot of money through the sale of jerseys and sneakers and things like that, you can try it on you. So you can use the same sneakers that Cristiano Ronaldo uses, and you can take a picture and you can upload and you can create content with that. And that brings proximity to the fan. But one thing that esports, for instance, taught us, it's that the fan today wants to feel connected 24/7. That's why young kids go to YouTube to see YouTubers playing games, yeah, right? They not only play the game, they see others playing and talking about it because they want to feel connected. They want to feel that they belong there. And the major thing for me that it's different from what we have today and what we could have in the future or nowadays with the technology that we have is that if I'm a fan of football, I'm not connected to the club or to the player 24/7 because most of the trainings are behind closed doors. I only get that excitement on a game or it's punctual. But if you have it in the metaverse, if you have it in a more immersed way, you could play with the best player if you connect at the right time and be on the same level that the best player of that game is. So that gives you something that the real world cannot give.
So it's kind of either utopian or it's quite an oxymoron that we use these very artificial tools, if you want, to bring community and proximity to the real world. That's I like it a lot. So let me do a last round. I want to start with Lucas, but for the others, my question, so you have time to prepare because you didn't know, is think about the most innovative experience that you have seen in sport in the last 12 months. Okay? Lucas, I know that you have in Düsseldorf a great innovation event. He can explain, but I was there twice, if I remember well, and it's a different one. They play football, and people try new things on the pitch, outside of the pitch, while players are really playing a football match.
Yeah, you're explaining it correctly. And first of all, let's focus on this one. It's great event, and it's not a competition because I don't like, make promotions for, a competitive event. It's not because what we do at Sports Innovation since 2018 now is every 2 years. And we as DFL, we are co-hosts of the event. We showcase innovations live on the pitch. Not only on the pitch, because also in the exhibition area we have dedicated areas for live innovations to be tested. But basically in the, let's call it, core fields of our sports business, sports tech business, so broadcast and content, fan experience and stadium experience, and sports performance, we showcase during different live matches what kind of innovations are out there, where we are as a DFL, but we also offer the opportunity to other tech companies, etc., to showcase, because obviously we do some nice stuff, but we're not the only ones innovating in that field, so we want to foster that exchange. We also want to offer that platform not only to football, but to other sports. There will be other sports this year or next year in 2024 in March. So you should come around. It's going to be exciting, I'm sure. And I mean, there's a lot of great stuff happening right now. Also, when you look at what kind of products are being launched from tech companies, we'll probably see some cool cases there.
Okay, cool. And I agree. I mean, Massimo Tucci and the team has done an amazing job for putting all these people. It's super crowded everywhere. It's really a lot of people came this year, so it's a great event. I totally agree. Alfonso, back to the question. Don't escape.
Okay, so as the weirdest cliff for innovation, like I've seen during the last months, very interesting platforms. For example, one that comes to my mind, it's analytics on video from any kind of feed that you can then generate content out of that and customize. But that for me, like that's tech innovation. Going back to business model innovation, one that I really, really liked was, and it was covering a fan need. And you have to go to that context. This was the Atlanta Braves, that they were offering a new kind of ticket. Because in baseball, in the US, you will have a game on Tuesday at 1 p.m. Like, I don't get it. I know that most of us won't get it. Like, why Tuesday on 1 p.m.? And they were offering like remote work ticket. So you can come to our lunch. You will have wireless because we know you'll have your video conference meeting over here. You will be able to send a mail. You will be able to work from here. So that was just pure understanding of the fans. Like, I won't be able to go to the match because I have work to do. Well, do your work here, and I'll give you whatever tool, and I'll remove the pain points that you'll have to attend the game. That, to me, that's pure innovation.
That's not bad. And yeah, baseball, I don't know, I mean, people realize a club is playing every 2 days the whole year. It's a crazy season.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Quickly, Lucas.
I wasn't prepared because,
okay.
but
Paula.
I can still answer.
Go.
I think greatest.
Not match facts.
No match facts, and nothing from DFL because there's also a lot of other stuff. Actually, also related to baseball, they did that virtual ballpark at MLB. That was also pretty cool, I think, because it creates actual value in a virtual metaverse-like world.
Yeah. Paula?
Well, the biggest innovation that's going to change the game for 10 years from now is YouTube Prime Time. So the reason is, and going back to user experience, why YouTube did that NFL Prime Time deal, basically is to change the cable approach. So like, if you want to watch NFL, you need to buy whatever cable bundle. Same goes everywhere. Point is that the biggest buyer demographic starts getting YouTube with the remote or with the mobile. The minute they start changing the user behavior, it's game over. Because people, like, it's so seamless. Basically, you're just watching, it's just, do you want to watch whatever game? Just click. They have your credit card, it's just seamless. Why not, you know? And once that change in user behavior is like, you're gonna question yourself, why am I paying cable? I mean, it doesn't make any sense. It's like, I need to call, I need to renew, I need to not renew, I don't know where the game is in this one or in that one, or I need to have 2 subscriptions, oh God, they changed this year. It's complicated. I mean, you know better than I do. The point is, the minute it's just one click, then it's gonna change forever. That generation, because the youngest generation are already somewhere else. But that generation is the generation with the most revenue at hand, and that's the most important, and that's still using the TV screen. And once YouTube is in the TV screen, it's not going to go backwards. So that's the biggest innovation.
Candy?
So I work with innovation every day. So innovation is an ongoing work. It's never done. But in my opinion, and talking about sports, I think the one that innovates the most, it's basketball. If we look at NBA, they are alert and they use the technologies they are available today to create more money, more fans, more proximity. I have a kid, he's 8 years old. He doesn't like football, but he loves basketball and he knows everything about it. He feels connected to the sport. He practices basketball. So football needs to be alert and start using the technology that we have, not only to the fans, but for the sport itself and for the players itself and for the negotiations itself, because even the agents can have technology at their disposal to be more productive, to be more everything.
I agree. So I said, to be honest, ending on the fact that the NBA with Adam Silver at the lead is possibly one of the most, if not the most innovative league, 360 degrees, I have to say it's a fair statement. So thank you, Alfonso, thank you, Luca, thank you, Paula, thank you, Candy, thank you everybody who stayed and listened. To the next one. Bye-bye. Back to Paula, to be honest.